And then we have chapter 47 and 48, and that was just the best thing ever. There's been a shitload of hut moments since others came, but this one was the hottest of them all. Ringer is explaining these aliens aren't actual aliens, and they think they are, and they have some kind of program in them. And Cassie doesn't believe her, and she comes up with a couple solutions, and I mean, she's right, like, it might not be the case. It could be, you know, Vosh could be lying to her or something. By now it's kind of guaranteed that Ringer is telling the truth, and that Vosh is telling the truth, and that this is what's going on. It makes too much sense. But these two chapters, the awkward conversation between the three of them, trying to figure everything out and trying to get along and coming up with a plan, and Ben, and there was the line about how I was looking at the floor, it was hilarious. It slowed down and chill, and we had all three of them there, and it was funny and awkward and mind-boggling, and I loved those two chapters. And Cassie knows that something is wrong, and I'm like, yes, Cassie, what's wrong with them? Figure it out, ask. I want to know what the whole pregnant thing is really about. And then Cassie tells Ben that she had a crush on him. I was just sat there squealing like a little girl. It was the cutest thing ever, and I love the friendship between Ben and Cassie. I feel like Ben really does care for her, and she really does care for Ben. I made this plan to go into the Vosh headquarters, and it can't go well. There's no way that it's gonna go well. This is kind of when I start thinking, dear God, Ringer and Cassie are gonna die. That's how this is gonna go down. They're both gonna die. Really scared. And they're talking about preparations. And Cassie and Ringer have that little tracker conversation, and she takes it out of him, and she's like, here, and Cassie's like, ew, no, and she spits in it, and Cassie's like, in what way is that better? She cups it in the palm of her hand and spits onto it, rolls the right side palette around in her spit to clean off the blood. Better? In what way could that possibly be better? It's just like Mean Girls, and they keep like arguing and bickering, and it's hilarious. And then Ben and Ringer have the conversation about the baby. He's like, how did it happen? And she's like, you know, the usual way. It's Razor's baby. And I forgot how much I loved Razor and Ringer's relationship. It was so cute. But we're with Ben right now, okay? We're in his head, and she's talking about how the baby and how it's Razor's. First of all, I'm like, oh my god, poor Razor. Like, he's dead. He died for her. He's never gonna meet this child. And I'm also kind of like, well, this baby has to live because Razor's gonna live on through this baby. And the antifreeze, and it's so sad. Ben's there, reading from his POV. There's a knife twisting in my gut. The pain makes the bullet wound feel like a mosquito bite. For whatever reason, whenever I'm around this girl, pain follows, and it's not just the physical variety. Intimately acquainted with both kinds, I'd rather be shot a dozen times than have my heart torn in half. And I burst into tears, like, I was so upset for him, and I wanted them to be together because they're both so broken, and together they are strong. And then it's followed by him burying Ringer because she's crazy now and can do all these crazy wonderful things. And she nods, her face is bathed in starlight. I catch my breath. What she says, I look away, nothing. Zombie, I can't refer. It's not important. I just thought for a minute there, flashed across my mind. Zombie, okay, you're beautiful. That's all. I mean, you wanted to know. You get sentimental at the weirdest times. Hose. Ringer! So then we have the showdown, and Cassie, she jumps for the helicopter, right? And she's so close, and she just about misses it. And we go back to the thing about her secret and how she could fly with her dad. I start tearing up. The way the dad thing came full circle, and it was horrifying and crazy, and my heart was beating so fast, but at the same time it was glorious. You could see it in her head, her jumping for this thing, and she headbutts Ringer. Ringer is crazy. She goes around taking everyone out, and she spits out like a fat wad of blood and is like, thanks for that. And how Ringer starts to tolerate Cassie and their relationship, they kind of establish trust. It's beautiful to watch. And then we go to the caves, and we're preparing, and there's so much anticipation for the last day, because not a lot has happened up until this point. Like, Ben went to get Ringer, but then nothing really happened apart from Dumbo dying. So it was very slow the first 2 days, and I like that because the last day was so crazy, so much happened in such a short period of time, that we needed that breathing space just to be with our characters, to chill out, to collect ourselves before what's about to happen, because that's the last time we're going to have with them without it being crazy circumstances. And I appreciated Rick for giving that to us. Ringer and Ben have another conversation and my heart continues to break. They get into a little argument and Ringer goes, "That's it, Ben, I shouldn't have told you." And Ben's like, "Well, why did you then?" And it's because she trusts him and she's in love with him, and like on the inside we can see the humanness in her, but she never shows it to anyone else, and it's just so frustrating. Instead I say, "You caught me a weak moment." Well, Ben Parrish smiled, the smile that almost hurts to look at, that Ben Parrish smile. "If you ever need an egotistical prick, I'm your man." He waits 2 breaths and then adds, "Oh, come on, Ringer, come on." Smile. That joke works on so many levels, it isn't even funny. "You're right," I answer, "it's not funny." Ringer, why won't you love Ben? You love him, you do, but why won't you tell him you love? I'm okay. I'm okay. Cassie has to say goodbye to Sammy. Burst into tears again. What if this is the last time that Cassie ever sees Sammy? That's what was going through my head. It was so sad, and she wants him to remember how to be a kid. I gently push Bear into his chest. "And you need to keep him. I know you've outgrown him. I know you're a soldier or commando or whatever now. But one day, maybe there'll be a little kid who really needs Bear. Because, well, just because. And so hang on to him, understand? You take care of him and protect him. And don't let anybody hurt him. Bear is very important to the grand scheme of things. He's like gravity. Without him, the universe would fall apart." And then knowing what happens later on, Rick is good. He's good at toying with the emotions. And then we have Bob, who's just giving him all the sass. Ben kisses Ringer, and I start tearing up again. The anticipation and just them all saying goodbye, and I don't like them separate, I don't like it because the chances of them dying are more probable. Sad and emotional and dark and beautiful. Then we have the last day. Lots of things get real and it gets intense and action-packed and very Fifth Wave-like. From the Fifth Wave, we've been on such a journey. You sit on the edge of your seat and we need to fix this, and times are low because we don't have Evan to fix it. I wasn't sure what the plan was, and I'm kind of sitting here like, is there any point anymore? Everyone's gonna die, the aliens are gonna win. It gets really dark for a second here. It's so emotional because we've come so far, and this is it, this is the final showdown. We open up with Evan, and everything starts to go wrong. They shower him, and he's describing the coldness, and they're being really mean to him. And he's fragile now that he doesn't have the 12th system. I don't like seeing Evan being treated this way, and I start tearing up yet again. And then Vosh shows him the egg thing, and I'm like, okay, so we're gonna start to figure things out now. "Why are you doing this?" He was losing his temper. "Why do you speak in riddles and lies as if I'm one of your human victims? There are no more than 12. There are tens of thousands. No, only 12. He gestured toward the right. "Come over here. I think you're going to find this very interesting." Was that 12 thing ever fully explained? Why are there only 12? It's getting to me. And we have the owl that we saw at the very beginning of book 1. "There is no alien entity inside you, none inside any of us, and none on board the mothership. It is completely automated like your friend here, designed by its makers after centuries of careful study and deliberation, and sent to the planet to wean the human population to a sustainable level, and of course to keep it there indefinitely by changing human nature itself." Okay, so these aliens, Ringer was right, these aliens sent down this mothership thing to keep the human race at a sustainable level because we're killing the planet and they want to save the planet. Was the ultimate goal ever to take over then? Or just to save the planet? I mean, saving the planet doesn't sound so bad, but the fact that they're killing a whole population, we can't have that. No, go away please. And he proves to Evan that all of his memories are fake, and after having that conversation with Cassie about the past is all you have, Evan is confused. We're confused. Chapter 69. Download him again, then erase it. Erase it, sir? Erase the human, leave the rest. The commander's voice filled the room. We cannot love what we do not remember. What? I figured out before this that the thing that makes Evan different is love. It's the thing that aliens don't understand is love, and it's the reason the programming didn't work, because Evan had fallen in love with Cassie. So the solution is to erase all human part of Evan. In the autumn woods there was a tent, and in the tent there was a girl who slept with a rifle in one hand and a teddy bear in the other, and while she slept a hunter kept vigil over her, an unseen companion who retreated when she woke. He had come to end her life, she was there to save his. And the endless arguments with himself, the vanity of his own reason posing the unanswerable question, why must one live while the other world itself perished? The more he reached for that answer, the farther the answer retreated from his grasp. He was a finisher who could not finish. He was the heart of a hunter who lacked the heart to kill. In her journal she had written, "I am humanity," and somehow in those 3 words splintered him into 2. She was the Mayflower, there for a day, then gone. She was the last star, burning bright in a sea of limitless black. Erased the human. In a burst of blinding light, the star Cassiopeia exploded and the world went blank. Evan Walker had been undone. And I burst into tears for like the 5th time. No, you did not just kill, he basically killed Evan. Oh, we've established that your memories are all you have and what make you you, and it turns into the City of Heavenly Fire, but worse. I sat there for a good couple minutes crying, and then it gets worse. This isn't even it. And right there and then I think, oh dear God, he's gonna get Evan to kill Cassie and Ringer and show them his power. I couldn't believe it. No! He is the person that deserves it the least out of all these people. That description was so beautiful. I was literally reading it like, no. Don't go down these metaphorical, beautiful descriptions, Rick. No, because you know what that means. You know that means something bad is about to happen. And then Evan Walker is undone, and from there on out, I was fragile. Every 2 seconds, I would start tearing up again. And then, to top it off, because, you know, I'm not crying enough by this stage, we go back to Cassie, right? And we're in the helicopter, and Bob, I mean, it isn't as if I asked him to save me all those times, any more than I asked him to shoot me in the leg. I never asked for anything, he just gave past the point where giving is the same. Is that what love is? And knowing that he'd just been killed, basically. And she then talks about how she's never loved anyone. Is that what love is? And is that why it makes no sense to me? Because I've never felt it. Not for him, not for Ben Parrish, not for anyone. So I'm pretty sure that you love Evan. Don't try and deny it, you love him. And then we go back to Ben, and they're being trapped, and they have to get out, and good old Sammy saves him with the gas. Yeah, whatever. Guess what ultimately happens? Guess who ultimately doesn't come out of the cave on time, and guess who then has to come back for her? Megan. Ah! Are you kidding me right now? Nearly kills Ben. And so Ben has to then take Sammy to the Hole of Death and leave him there. I didn't trust that. Like they're not gonna find him. Also, he keeps talking about how he's forgotten something, and then Sam reminds him of something, and he's like, yeah, that must be it. That's what I've forgotten, right? No, it's, you know, it's only the tracker thing that's the reason they're gonna stop shooting at him and they're not gonna be able to see him. It's not important or anything. So Ben has to leave Sammy in the Hole of Death to go and get Megan back out because she didn't do it the first time. He forgot the tracker, so his head's lit up like a Christmas tree, and so Ben is then hit in the back of the head. I'm literally sat there like, I've just gotten over my tears for Evan. Did he just die? Did Ben just get killed off? Honestly, by now I'm so numb that I can't feel anything towards the possible death of Ben. So we get there with Ringer and Cassie, right? We get there. The first thing she realizes is that she needs to pee. Cassie in these last sections was just so wonderful. She was so funny, the darkest of times, and she brings up random things like this. And then we have this insane, awesome break-in scene, and very 5th Wave reminiscent. We have flashbacks of Cassie and Ringer's conversation before this, and it just is wonderful because there's so much danger and drama running around. Everyone's running around panicking. Desperation here is real. We need Cassie to get to that room, or the aliens will win. And Cassie's thinking back to her conversation, and it's hilarious. So the lock, I shoot it off. I said to Ringer back in the caves. That only works in movies, Sullivan. Yeah, you're right. It's good this isn't a movie, or the hectoring, self-important, annoying secondary character would definitely be dead by now. Ringer goes around blowing up all these buildings, and everyone's running around, and it's chaos. And this is where it gets hard. Ringer said, "There's gonna be blood. How much blood? How much can you take? What are you, my sensei or something? How many 5th Wavers am I gonna have to kill?" Ringer is kind of awesome. When Cassie was running across whatever it was, everyone's running, there's bombs going off, and how Ringer manages to hit that one guy that stops Cassie from like across the whatever the thing is. I mean, she's kind of awesome. I'm starting to like Ringer again. She's redeemed herself from earlier. Little Red Rising had lost her way. The clever mnemonic device they came up with to navigate the next to last building. I hang a left at the first juncture, then a right, then another right, then a left. Hers stands for high, meaning I hit the first arrow after lost. Of course, I could have just used the word high, but that would ruin the mnemonics. Little Red Riding Hood's lost highway. Come on. She's running around trying not to get killed, and this is what she's thinking of. She's so brilliant. And then we find out that this general order for malarkey are the waves. The power cuts out and then it starts raining. She starts burning and having these red things, and she's just gotta get out. Because I've been here before, I know what comes after the third wave. Panicking because Cassie's burning alive, and then we cut to silencer. No. Referring to the silencer as it now because the human's gone, Evan's gone. That hurt hard. There is nothing human left in it, nothing human at all. It does not remember the past, therefore the past does not exist. Its humanity does not exist. It does not even have a name. He's gonna kill Cassie. He's on the mission to kill Cassie. That is his mission. And I start freaking out. When it finds her, and it will find her, it will kill her. Without remorse, without pity, it will kill the one whom Evan Walker loved, with all the emotion of a man stepping on a cockroach. The silencer has awakened. I refuse to believe that this is how it's going to end. It's too sad. It's too much. If this is how it ends, if Evan kills Cassie, I don't know what I'm going to do. No, we're not going there. Let's move on, shall we? And so I'm a hot mess. I'm full on sobbing, hysterical. Yet the next page, Zombie has me laughing. Go to his heaven, again reminiscent of Cassie's not right vibe heaven in the 5th wave, and he's now in heaven. And he's like, what the hell kind of heaven is this anyway? He gives me his shut up and work and look, then he presses the pack into my hand and tells me to hold it against the back of my head. His ears look smaller in the shimmering brook. Maybe that's his heavenly reward, smaller ears. And at one point, Sam starts crying at the thought of Cassie. And I just shakes his head. The metaphor's lost on him. I lean over and whisper in his ear, at least I didn't tell him about Cassie, right? The mention of his sister's name nearly sends him over the edge. His bottom lip juts out and his eyes fills up. It was so awesome when Ringer found Cassie writhing on the floor, and it's nice how Ringer's kind of protective of her now. They've kind of learned to somewhat get along. But I don't say any of that. My mouth comes open and these words come out instead. You won't need a weapon, Sullivan. You'll have me. Really nice to see them not absolutely hating each other, but they still have those like back and forths. Ringer's trying to save Cassie and it's very dramatic. The words. I tamp down the panic to so hard. The primitive part of her brain pushes back. The fight or flight response is older and more powerful than the technology I contain. The struggle continues for several minutes. Our hearts, the war, her body, the battlefield.